This is Ed from the Pixel Tunes Radio Video Game Music Podcast. You're listening to Two Dudes and a Ness.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Ooh.
Oh, don't scare me like that.
Yeah. You know what I am?
Mm-hmm. A ghoul or a ghost?
I'm a ghost. Yep, I'm a ghost.
Mm-hmm. So does that make me a goblin?
That's right.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And what noise does a goblin make?
What is a
I don't
goblin,
know.
by the way? What fault is a goblin like an umbrella term for like zombies and monsters?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we should look that up.
Yeah,
Goblin.
we should probably. Yeah, we could formulate a hypothesis here.
Okay.
But we'll probably be corrected by somebody on Twitter.
Right. Okay. A goblin, also known as. No, never mind. That's an Italian progressive rock band. So that's what it is. It's an Italian progressive rock band.
Oh, okay. Well, so this game's about ghosts and Italian progressive rock bands.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Now, a goblin is a legendary, evil, or mischievous, grotesque, dwarf-like demon or monster that appeared in European stories and accounts during the Middle Ages. So it's like a little short, ugly thing.
Like a couple of the characters in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Big Man.
The Pig Man?
Isn't there one called Big Man?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably get to Emmanuel at some point.
I think we will.
But I do want to say this before we get started talking about this show. So, not last night. Last night was Memorial Day, so the night before last, I guess it was, Super Mario Brothers was on television.
The movie?
On Discovery Family, yeah. And so I didn't sit down and intently watch it, but it was just kind of on throughout the night. And that movie is terrible. It is really bad.
Really? It's been a long time since I've
it's
seen it, but I loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's terrible. I think it's ridiculous. And the thing is I can see when they were trying to decide how to make the movie that they were probably thinking, well, the idea of making just a live action Mario is ridiculous, So we'll make this movie, and then this movie turned out to be even worse. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to look up on Rotten Tomatoes the critics for Super Mario Brothers.
I'm sure it's a Rotten Tomato, right?
Yeah, whatever that is. A 0, I'd say. But anyway, the game we're talking about, while I look this up, is a Patreon pick, right?
It is. Patreon pick by Mike Vito. Thank you, Mike, for your awesome Patreon contributions and your... Well, I don't know if I want to thank you for your pick quite yet.
Yeah. We'll get to that. I don't even think... It's not... It's not showing up here on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's so bad.
It's
so bad that it's not allowed on Rotten Tomatoes.
They just ignored it. It never happened. Never happened. Now here it is. it is a 16%. So there you go. 29% on the audience.
That's out of 100, I assume.
And the tagline is, "It's a blast." Okay.
What a boring, generic tagline, too.
Yeah. This movie's so bad, we can't even really think of anything to say about it. It's just like saying it's fun.
Yeah. Tagline for this movie, it's good. It's okay.
Yeah. It's not the worst thing you've ever seen.
I imagine that if we ever came out with a Two Dudes in a Nest movie, that would be the tagline. It's not the worst movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of worse. So, Ghosts and Goblins.
Yes. Do you have history on this game?
I hope you're taking notes, boys and girls. It's time for Justin's historical tidbits and trivia.
I do. So, Ghosts and Goblins. Another Capcom game. And I like that because I'm hoping we're getting another message from Captain Commando here in a little bit.
Oh, I think you'll be in for a real treat with this one.
Oh boy. Okay, so it was originally an arcade that was ported to several different systems. One, of course, being the NES, released on June 13th, 1986 in Japan, and November 1986 in North America, which is an odd release time for this game. It makes me think they missed Halloween. Like something happened and they missed the release.
Yeah.
Like right after Halloween, really? I mean, you could argue it was Christmas season, but still, you'd think they'd want this game out for Halloween. Anyway. So it was ported for the Commodore 64 as well, and the interesting thing about the Commodore 64 version is the music was different. Mark Cooksey did the music, and he borrowed from Frédéric Chopin's Prelude Number 20. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but spoiler alert, I'm sure it was better than the music in this game.
Well, see, the thing is, typically Commodore 64 music is better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just kind of a thing when you compare the NES to Commodore 64. But, you know, I don't know. We may get into that a little deeper here in a little bit.
Yeah. So the NES version was actually developed by Micronix, which developed a few like ports for the NES during the 80s. A few more notable names. 1942 was ported by Micronix. Ghostbusters, game we talked about. And Super Pitfall. Just some notable ones that they have thrown out there. And the developer of this game, somebody we've talked about a few times, Tokura Fujiwara, also known as Professor F or Arthur King, who produced and directed a lot of other games. One game we just got through talking about, Mega Man 2. He was the producer of that. Yeah.
We went on a real big Capcom kick here lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. DuckTales, Mega Man, now this one. But he has probably one of the more interesting stories, I think. And I think we've talked about it on a previous show, but I just want to touch on it again. You know, he joined Konami, left Konami after about a year, joined Capcom, was with Capcom for 13 years, and then he establishes a video game studio of his own, which is probably my favorite video game, the name of a video game company. Whoopee Camp.
Yep.
WHOOPEE Camp. And
Whoopee Camp.
Whoopee! But he also was involved in many Mega Mans as well.
Many as in M-A-N-Y or many as in M-I-N-I?
Unfortunately, M-A-N-Y.
Oh.
Or fortunately. Many would be pretty cool too. As far as this game's reception, it's actually been received pretty well as far as its ratings, but it's also known as one of the hardest games of all time. It was ranked 129th on Nintendo Power's Top 200, and it was also one of the best sellers for the NES, selling about 1.64 million copies. And it actually had some spin-offs and sequels, and became Capcom's 8th best-selling game franchise, selling 4.4 million units total. And those sequels include Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins. So, just to name a few. So,
have you played any of the others?
I have not. Have you?
Yeah, I've played Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and I played the arcade version of this game. And I played something on I think it was PS2. It was like Maximo or something like that. I think it was loosely based on this series.
It is part of the series. Maximo is. And Gargoyle's Quest was another spin-off, as well as Maximo. So, now you can buy it pretty much on any port, and I think even there's a new game, Ghosts and Goblins Gold Knights, that's been released on iOS. So, if anybody out there is an iPhone user and wants to try out a new Ghosts and Goblins game, you got that working for you.
I cannot imagine playing this on iOS.
Yeah. So, did you have this game?
It's out there, waiting to be discovered. This is Michael's quest to find the carts.
Well, before we talk about whether or not I got this game, do you care if I take a brief moment and throw out a couple shout-outs?
I don't care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. First of all, Joe Copel, a long time ago, not that long ago, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, started his own podcast after listening to us. Remember, he called in like what was our Christmas episode? And we said, man, Joe, you got a radio voice. You should do a podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, he did. So, Dude Joe has his podcast. And I just wanted to shout that out.
Yep.
It's the, oh boy, I should have wrote this down. I think it's the Random Retro Roundup.
Yeah, it says it is the Random Retro Roundup.
Whew. Okay.
I actually know that, yeah.
And then another guy who has been emailing me constantly wanting to get on the show, and I've been trying to get him on the show, but, you know, things happen. We haven't got him on the show yet. Phil, I'm going to butcher your last name, Vecchio? Yeah. Anyways, he's with the Radio Brindo Man podcast, and they've done they're like 160 episodes deep, so this guy knows how to podcast. So, anyways, I just want to give him a shout out because he said he's been shouting us out like crazy on his show, and You know how we are. We're just takers all the time, and I feel like every now and then we got to give.
Just take.
That's all we ever do is take. So once in a blue moon, we got to give. So Radio Brendo Man, and go check out that podcast. All right, that's the shout outs I wanted to give.
Onward with the quest.
Okay, so quest. This one came from. I'll give you 2 guesses.
Well, first guess, I'm going to go with Neighbor Kid.
Bingo, Neighbor Kid.
Boom.
It's the easiest guess.
I almost went with Crabman first, but
I don't think I ever got a game from Crabman.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Actually, I'm sure I got some games from Crabman, but I probably just lumped them in with Neighbor Kid's games and just assumed that they all came from Neighbor Kid. So yeah, I got this one from Neighbor Kid. Probably, I'm sure I've discussed when he gave them to me before, but I don't remember. It was around the time he got his PlayStation 1. He decided to give me all his NES games. So, high school, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman year of high school, something like that. So, I got this. This was just one of probably 15 games that Neighbor Kid gave me, and I have played it sparingly over the years because every time I play it, I can't make it past like the first jump. So. Yeah.
There was a meme that somebody put up on our Facebook group. It's been probably like 2 or 3 months ago. And it was like starting Ghosts and Goblins, and it showed like the start screen, and then like it said 10 minutes later or something, there was like something thrown in through the TV or something. I don't know. It was funny. Yeah, I don't remember. I wish I...
You should probably have looked that up.
If somebody's listening that put up that meme, please put it up again because it was hilarious.
Yeah, I would love to see. I'm sure I saw it when it was put up, but there's so much stuff that goes flying through that group. I just can't remember. I can't remember it. So put it up again. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, this game is ridiculously hard.
Did you have this game ever?
I didn't have this game. I went and got it the other day at Shady Game Store. Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't say that, but.
I think we've already announced that that's what we call it.
Anyway, I went and picked it up, and it's a game that I played. I guess I've played it with you, I'm assuming.
Probably.
Because I have played it before. It's ridiculously hard, and I guess we can go ahead and start talking about gameplay now.
Yeah, let's go to gameplay.
Do you like talking about games? Well, so do we. Welcome to The Game Discussion.
But this game is about one of the most frustrating things you'll ever do in your life. Like, one of the most frustrating games for the NES.
Yeah. Do you have any memories of when we played it before? Or is all your memories coming from just now?
I just remembered playing it and it being pretty much impossible. And I'm not being able to get very far. I don't really remember. It's just a memory that I know that I played it. You know?
I feel like you and I, Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Get your vibration device over there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you and I, when we played most of these NES games back in the day, we were dumb college kids in a dorm room. So I figure we probably tried to turn this into a drinking game somehow, and probably drank too much because we did something stupid like every time you die you drink, and then of course in this game you die every 10 seconds. So that's probably why we don't remember playing it back then. I remember playing it from when Neighbor Kid first gave it to me, and I just remember it just being impossible and frustrating. I could not get past the first level for the longest time.
I haven't gotten past first level, and actually I've been watching some run throughs just so I can kind of know what the other levels look like. and how the game plays out. But yeah, I've never gotten past the first level on this game.
And I honestly haven't until just like this past week playing it. Because I really dug in deep and tried to really play it. Because most of the time I'll play it for 15 minutes, get frustrated, and quit playing it. But this time I said, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it. Plus, I had to try to get the high score. And then for a while, nobody was putting up high scores. So I was kind of near the top. I was feeling pretty good about myself. But we'll get to that in just a minute. First, I've got something.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. The manual.
That's right. The manual. Sorry. Every time I go to switch to the manual, I get a little distracted trying to do it. So So you see.
Oh, wow. Look who's on the cover.
Yep, the cover of the game.
Captain Commando.
Our good friend, Captain Commando. They didn't even put King Arthur or a ghost or a goblin or anything on the cover. They just said, here's Captain Commando presents Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah. Here's somebody that has nothing to do with the game on the cover of the game manual. Mm-hmm.
So let me read you the special message from Captain Commando. Thank you for selecting fun-filled Ghosts and Goblins, one of the exclusive family computer video games from the Captain Commando Challenge series. So,
yeah,
this is another one of those Challenge series games.
Mm-hmm.
And in true Nintendo fashion, in the safety precautions section, I'm guessing this is something Nintendo forces everybody to put in there. If you'll see section 6 or item 6 there, pause for 10 to 20 minutes after playing for 2 hours or more. This will extend the performance of your game pack and of you. But that seems unusual. You got to stop after 2 hours of continuous gameplay, and it will preserve your game pack.
Well, for this game, maybe that's because you'll want to kill yourself.
Right. Because if you try to play for more than 2 hours, you will take the game pack out and break it over your knee.
Yeah. Oh, man. How many controllers were bent over your knee over this game?
I don't know. I had to switch controllers so many times. I eventually went with the Advantage controller, which is pretty durable.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of helped me out quite a bit. But I'll talk about that when we talk about the game. Let's see if I can find us some other gems in here. A little bit of different weapons here. What was your favorite weapon?
I really just used the javelin that you first pretty much get when you start the game.
Yeah. So you have javelins, torches, swords, axes, and crosses.
Now the cross, isn't it, just like keeps them from attacking you?
I guess. I mean, that's what it says. I've never used. I don't remember using the cross.
Yeah. Well, when I was watching the run through, that's what it looked like was happening. So.
Yeah. The one I liked the most was the sword because it was straight, just like the javelin, but it was faster.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like hints on gameplay.
Okay. I'll let you read that then.
Our beautiful princess is kidnapped. Her lover, the knight, in his shining armor is armed with 5 different weapons. The knight must pass through 7 gates, each guarded by an evil demon. As the knight destroys the evil enemy demons, a key appears from the sky. The key opens the next gate. At the 7th and final gate, your skill enables the knight to engage in hand-to-hand combat with the devil.
Ooh.
Defeat the devil, and the beautiful princess is rescued. Each time the knight is hit with the enemy firepower, he loses his suit of armor. The second straight hit kills the knight. Throughout every scene, there are jars which hide 5 different weapons for the knight. Now here are a few things. First of all, well, you know what? We'll talk about this later because it's coming up in the manual.
Okay. Very, very excellent reading, sir.
Mm-hmm. 2 hits. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you get.
2 hits and you're done.
2 hits and like 3 lives or something like that. That's it. That's all you get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so bonus characters. I don't know why they call these things characters. Do you? I mean, they.
No.
Yeah. there's a bag of money is a character. And then there's these different soldier types, stone soldiers and a king. I really didn't know what. I guess they're just points, right?
Yeah, all you get is points. You don't really get anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get points. I just grabbed everything if I could. That was my strategy. Then hidden characters. So you have something I don't know how to pronounce, the Yashiki, which I don't remember getting that, but you get 5,000 points for it. So that's pretty cool. You get some time extended. You get extra player, which I never found one of those. You get armor. Does that restore your armor? It just says the player has armor in the manual.
I guess it does.
That's the description. The player has armor.
This manual is really good. It's top notch.
Yeah.
But that's one of my big complaints that's coming up here.
Okay, one of your big complaints is coming up. The Frog King. Did you ever get the Frog King?
No.
It turns you into a frog.
Yeah, don't you like hit something?
I
was reading somewhere. It's like you hit something 15 times, like a tombstone. I don't know. I never did experience that. See, I feel like I really didn't get to experience this game to its fullest because I couldn't make it very far. Okay, so enemy characters then. Is this where you're coming in yet? This is where my beef comes,
okay.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay, so this game, who named these characters? Like, who's in charge of naming? Did they just... They were either a flaming idiot or they just had zero creativity. So first of all, the knight in the game is named Arthur. Okay, the most famous knight ever, right? King Arthur? Right, so we'll name him Arthur. Okay, good job. So then your characters, you've got a zombie, which is a zombie. A plant that's just called Green Monster. The bad guy is just the devil.
Right.
It's not... you've got one bad character is called Big Man.
Yeah, my favorite part though is you have the devil, but then you also have Satan.
Yeah. Right.
So you get and that reminds me, Harold and Kumar.
Oh yeah. Hey Rodney, what?
The
devil. Who?
The devil.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That's the second time we've referenced that. We should probably put that one to bed.
No, never.
Yeah, okay. And unicorn. There's a unicorn, but he looks more like a rhinoceros to me.
Yeah. He's like an ogre, really. He's not a unicorn at all. Like, unicorn is supposed to be like this magical horse, and this is like an ogre looking character.
Right.
And okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you've got like the red devil, the blue demon, and the petite devil. Just a tiny little devil, just tiny.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the gist of the manual. But it does at the end tell you to look for Capcom's exciting new games, Commando and 1942.
All right.
Those are good games.
Now wait a minute.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go ahead and take that away.
Okay.
So, isn't the final boss in this game named Astaroth?
Yeah, see, that's what I thought too, but the manual calls him Devil.
That's what I was curious about, because I was just reading that, and like of course I've never made it that far, but apparently the last level is supposed to be fight Astaroth.
Well, and you say that the guy's name's Arthur, right? Because he's King Arthur. But in the manual, he's just called Knight. So I think that whoever made the manual didn't actually play the game.
So, yeah. Have you heard... This is something maybe we should bring up right now, but it's kind of like... Have you seen the English at the end of the game?
Yes.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yes. We can
we'll talk about that later. Yeah. So, but... yeah, maybe it's kind of the same thing. They just... Another flaming idiot that they had working there. An intern or something.
Do all the idiots have to be flaming to you? Just asking.
Nah, it makes them better. It makes them more interesting.
Oh, okay. Are there any like ice cold idiots?
Oh man, those are the bad ones.
Oh, okay. You don't hire those. You don't hire those.
You really got to watch out for those.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
All right.
Anyway.
So that's it for the manual.
Oh, and then the princess. The princess's name is Prin Prin.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like,
so this manual has nothing. It's just bad.
Yeah, the manual sucks for this game.
I should not have read the manual.
Well, no, you should have read the manual because it was still hilarious. But especially because the cover didn't even have anything related to the game and had Captain Commando on it.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole reason I really wanted to read the manual. Is for that.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this game.
Okay.
So the first level, which is all of my playing experience, the graveyard. And, of course, you've played the other Ghosts and Goblins series games. But apparently, like, every Ghosts and Goblins game, like, has, like, the first level is kind of a play to that level, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, almost every, or at least all the ones that I played, are almost the exact same, but just slightly different. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of game. It's the same like level layout. Of course, I didn't make it very far in any of them except for this one, and I didn't even make it very far in this one. I just made it to level 3, but they all start in the graveyard, and it's all the same thing where you're sitting there with the princess, and then the thing swoops in and gets her and all that stuff. So,
isn't it your own fault if your princess gets kidnapped if you were just hanging out in a graveyard?
Yeah, who picnics in the graveyard? That's
issue
number 1.
Yeah. Okay, if you were picnicking in the graveyard and some gargoyle demon looking thing comes and gets your date, that one's on you.
Yeah, pretty sure that one's your fault.
Yeah. So, but you get in here and you got the zombies. So the zombies are like the first kind of bad guy that you experience. And so you get hit. You get your armor, but then you get hit, and then your armor goes away. And then you die as soon as you get hit again. And this is the most frustrating part of the game is there's no life meter, there's no way to get more life. Apparently you could get the armor back.
Yeah, I never could get the armor back. I don't know how.
I never found the armor, so it never failed that always one of the first zombies would seem to hit me at some point. And then it was just game on from there on out.
Well, and as long as I could keep the javelin or the knives, or I guess they're swords, then I could pretty much fend off most everybody in the first level. It was if I accidentally picked up the torch, that I was just screwed. I couldn't do anything with the torch. Because it arcs, so I would accidentally throw it over their heads, or I wouldn't reach them, or it just... Yeah. I got so frustrated every time I accidentally picked up the torch. I hated the torch so much.
Yeah. So you get... Yeah, it's just so frustrating. And then you get to I finally got to the unicorn at the end of the first level. And I couldn't beat him. Which, actually, the unicorn probably is not that bad, but it was like I was, down to my underwear at that point.
Right. Which we haven't mentioned yet, but when you lose your armor, you go down to your skivvies.
So you're down to your underwear at this point. And this is the first time I ever actually experienced the unicorn. And so I died pretty quick. But
yeah, I was wrong. I said I made it to level 3, but now that I'm looking at the levels, I did not. I did not make it to level 3. I made it to the end of level 2 and was defeated by the boss at the end of level 2. Which is 2 unicorns, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I made it to level 2.
Yeah, so the enemy bosses is Unicorn, which is 1 and 2, I guess. There's Dragon at some point. I don't know where Dragon comes in. Satan.
Of course, you can't forget Satan.
And then Astaroth, which Astaroth is the last boss to beat. So, Which level is Dragonon? Do you know where
He's on
Dragon's
level
at?
3. Yeah, he's on level 3. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I think it's like the
You got-
cave. Actually, he may be at level 3 and 4. I think they double up on him sometimes. Because, you know, you fight Unicorn twice. You fight him. You fight one unicorn in stage 1. You fight 2 unicorns on stage 2. Maybe you fight 2 dragons on stage 4. I don't know.
It has to make sense because the 5th level is
Satan?
charged to the Demon Realm Castle. And then level 6 is to the Demon Realm Castle top. And then the 5th level, or the final stage, is Demon Lord Astaroth's room. So I guess that final stage is just basically just Astaroth.
Yeah, and speaking of stage 5, okay,
Mm-hmm.
You have to defeat the dual Satans with a special weapon, right? Or else it spits you back to the beginning of stage 5.
Yeah, you have to use the cross. I remember reading that there. So that's where the cross really comes in.
Yeah.
You have to use the cross.
I can imagine, I didn't make it that far, right? So I didn't have to deal with this, but I can imagine the frustration of making it to the end of stage 5 with your favorite weapon, whatever that is. Say you like the javelin. You make it to the end of stage 5, javelin, you're doing good. Kill the 2 Satans, and then the game says, "Whoop, not going to work."
This was an illusion. Yeah. Get back.
So
an Astaroth. So we needed an expert in demonology to come on this show. So Astaroth in demonology is a crowned prince of hell. So there you go. So you got to fight the prince.
Yeah, and here's the kicker to the whole game. And the reason why a lot of people say that it is frustratingly stupid hard is because if you make it through all the way to Astaroth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you defeat him, you must beat the game all over again.
Right. The meanest trick. I was looking stuff up, and there was an article called "The Meanest Trick Capcom Ever Played," and that was it.
Yeah, the message says
the game was an illusion.
Yeah, when you beat Astaroth the first time, it says this room is an illusion and is a trap devised by Satan. Go ahead dauntlessly, make rapid progress, and then you have to beat the whole game over again.
Which makes complete sense.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead dauntlessly, make rapid progress. I'm going to use that at my job tomorrow. I'm going to yell at somebody. Go ahead dauntlessly, make rapid progress.
Somebody's pushing a gurney down the hall.
Yeah.
You just yell at them.
So then you got to go back.
Yeah, you got to go back and beat it again. But then...
And I think at that point, I would just be like, no.
Yeah. But if you just say no, then you don't get the awesome English at the end of the
game. Yes. The story is happy end.
Yes.
Thank you.
But doesn't it also say something like congratulations or
it says
congratulations or something like that?
Well, it says, let's see. Being the wise and courageous knight that you are, you feel strength welling in your body. Return to starting point. Challenge again.
Oh, that's the first time, right?
Yeah. But let's see.
We are super
We're
prepared.
Super experts on ghosts and goblins.
Why didn't we bring on somebody that knew more about this than us?
Yeah, like this Mike Vito guy. I hope Mike Vito got like the high score.
Well, I don't think he participated. But if he did, he didn't get the high score.
Let me guess, Sean.
How'd you guess? Actually, no, Sean did not get it. We'll talk about that here in just a second. I want to see this. I need to see this ending screen.
Well, while you're looking up that, I'll talk about Astaroth here.
Okay.
The Astaroth sprite is actually pretty impressive looking. He's got like a stomach head, as well as the head on top of it.
Okay, wait, here it is. Congratulation. This story is happy end. Thank you.
Yes.
Man, that's a load off right there.
It's so it makes you feel so happy that you actually did this again to get that.
Yeah.
So
you're about to kind of dip into graphics a little bit there. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just talking about the Astaroth sprite is actually pretty impressive for the
Yeah, it is, and I think just in general, I think the graphics of this game are actually really good for 1986. I mean, it's pretty faithful to the arcade. I mean, the arcade and this game look very, very close.
And I've got to bring in this comparison. What do you think about some elements of this game? For some reason, and maybe it's just because I played it so recently, and the gameplay is a lot similar. But some of the elements of this game and the Transylvania stage of DuckTales.
Yeah.
There's some similarities.
I could see some of the similarities because the tombstones and the zombie guys and stuff.
Yeah. So, I kind of thought about that. And of course, we talked about with DuckTales and Mega Man 2 how they played kind of similarly. Of course, being
and even the main character guy, the squattiness of him, he kind of looks like a Mega Man or a Scrooge McDuck a little bit.
It does. Then they kind of run the same way. When they get hit, they kind of fall the same way.
Yeah, so Capcom definitely has a style. I mean, there's no denying that. And you talk about the music, too. I mean, the music, while you don't seem to like it very much. I mean, you get one song, right? That's pretty much the whole game.
Well, here's the thing. And we talked about this with the Friday the 13th episode a while back. There's something about that kind of that horror game feel that they're trying to make a almost irritating noise song. To me, that's what it felt like. Maybe some people would be more defending of this music of this game and say that it wasn't that bad, but I thought it was just like, ugh, irritating.
I'll be a little bit more defending. I don't think it's that bad. I really do like the song, like the main song, the intro song, and what you get like at the first level there. I really like it. I just think it gets old really fast.
Yeah.
I think it's way better than Friday the 13th, though.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Friday the 13th was awful.
Yeah. So, now, not to jump back to graphics real quick, but I don't know if this is my cart, because my cart's a little dirty, and I tried to clean it up the best I could.
Yeah, no, I had vomit on it.
Yeah. It's glue. Anyway, I don't know. It could have been vomit. I mean, we did discuss about turning into a drinking game earlier, but
just pulled it out of the nest and threw up on it.
Sounds like something you do when you're frustrated, right? Frustrated, drunk. You just pull it on out and throw up all
over. Yeah.
No, but there was a lot of flicker on my game. Did you experience that?
Yeah, there was a little bit on mine. I guess I don't really recall that, but yeah, you know what? There kind of was.
And, to their credit, like I said, the graphics are pretty good for 1986. I mean, they're actually really good for 1986, and there's a lot of stuff going on the screen at once. I mean, you got a lot of enemies, lots of stuff flying everywhere. The backgrounds are really detailed as far as the ground and the stuff in the background. The background's not very detailed. It's just kind of black, but all the stuff on the ground and stuff.
The tombstones.
Yeah, tombstones. So there's a lot going on, and I can understand why it would flicker a little bit, but I just noticed that it was, and it seemed to be a little bit distracting to me, but I got over it pretty quick. I just wanted to make a note of that it was. While I'm praising the graphics, the graphics did take a little bit of a hit there.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, you want to hear these high scores?
Yeah, let's get to the high scores.
Okay. So let me start with mine, since mine didn't even make it on the list. The high score I got was 34,900.
That's respectable.
Okay, thank you. Did you happen to write down your score?
No, because I didn't even worry about it at this point.
Yeah.
Because I saw some of the others that were being posted.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have worried about it if I hadn't posted mine so early and actually got on the board for half a day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so top 5 of the D-patters and dudes, honorary dudes who have posted scores in our high score challenge. Coming in at number 5 is Douglas Delecki Jr. with 44,500.
Nice.
So just beat me slightly. Then we have Matt Daly, and coming in at number 4 with 51,300. Warmer, getting better. Then we have Derek Fletchell, who, if you'll recall, had a pretty good time on Mega Man 2 last week.
Mm-hmm.
He came in with 59,400.
Nice.
Still looking pretty good. And then somebody just dropped the bomb on us. Dude Sean and Dude Baz. Apparently they had a little bit of competition because their scores were actually down around these other scores at first. And then they just kept one-upping each other. So, number 2 was Dude Sean with 256,600.
That's ridiculous.
And then number 1 for this challenge is Dude Baz with 276,300. It's just, I will never see that score, on my game. It never gonna happen unless Baz wants to fly over the ocean and then come play my NES.
Mm-hmm.
That score will never be on my TV.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah.
So I'm really liking this high score challenge stuff. So hopefully we'll continue and get more and more people involved.
Right.
We have an entire Facebook group dedicated to it. I think it's called Two Dudes in an S High Score Challenge or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. I like it. So 2 more things I want to touch on before we close out the gameplay discussion. If you'll recall, somebody wanted us to do cheats.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled up a couple cheats.
Okay,
so everybody get your notepads out. I want to tell you some cheats.
Yep.
Okay, there is a level select cheat. If you would like to select the level, go straight to Satan. Here's how you go straight to Satan. Hold right, press B 3 times, release right, and press up B 3 times, left B 3 times, down B 3 times, and start. A number and letter will be displayed. Press A or B to select a new starting level, and then press start to begin gameplay.
Nice.
So, that's how you do level select. Alright? Then there's the bonus message. Okay? I don't know what this bonus message is. I didn't look it up. But if you want to get a bonus message, complete both quests, then press A, B, up, down, A, B, left, right.
Hopefully it's more English.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Right.
That's pretty much it. In the Japanese version of the game, I guess you can't continue like you can in the English version. Because in the English version, you can, it gives you the continue option down at the bottom. Well, I guess you can't in the Japanese unless you enter a code, because you, after losing all your lives in the Japanese version, hold right, press B 3 times, and then hit start, and you'll continue. So,
you're welcome, Japan.
Yeah. So that's the cheats. And then lastly, as per usual, we gotta ask ourselves, is this game worth it? And how much does it go for? How much did you get it for? Because you just got it.
I actually only paid $10 for it.
Okay. I think it goes for around $10 to $12.
Yeah, how much is it? Let's see. Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah. $8.50, $9.45, $14.99. Here's a tank top for $24.58.
All right.
So yeah, in between 8 and 15.
I will say yes, it's worth it. I think it's fun. I think it's, even though it's challenging and frustrating, I still found myself enjoying it. I mean, the game, it's challenging, but it's not like stupid hard like we were talking about last time. I mean, it's not the game. It's more skill based. Like, I felt like the more I played it, I could get better. We've talked about this before. There's some games where if you want to dedicate the time, you can get good at them, and they become less and less frustrating. I think this one kind of falls in that category.
Right.
Plus, that's not a terribly expensive game.
No, it's really cheap.
It's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's worth it as well. I would definitely not discouraged by my $10 investment.
Mm-hmm. I do think that I played the Super Nintendo version, and it's good. The Super Ghouls and Ghosts or whatever. So, I mean, any version of this game is pretty good. If you find an arcade, maybe buy the arcade machine. It's probably only like a couple $1,000 or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, nothing.
It's just a drop in the bucket for us.
That's right. The salad days of podcasting.
Yep. We're in the silver age of podcasting right now. Mm-hmm. All the money's just rolling in.
Right.
Actually, as we close out the gameplay, let me just say that the money, while not rolling in, like I just said, I would like to mention that our Patreon, or some of our Patreon people here, because they are providing us with enough money to cover all of our costs, plus the junk box, plus here pretty soon we're probably going to be able to start giving away the game each week, as long as it's not terribly expensive. Yeah. So I would like to give them a shout out. And I'll just go ahead and mention them all, because there's not that many of them. And I would like to shout them out, because it's they're taking money out of their pocket to help us fund this show. So, dude Sean, of course, he's a high score page, giving us monies. He's everywhere, man.
He's the man.
He's the man. Of course, dude Joe, also contributing. And he actually is going to be, we're going to be actually advertising his podcast starting next episode for a couple episodes, because he got the advertiser reward. If you'll recall, we played some Hunnick Outcast stuff, which we're still thankful for him. He's continuing to contribute too. But we played some ad spots for him, and we'll do the same for Joe here starting next week. And then George Vosper, he donated a decent amount. He's going to actually come on the show with his contribution. He got the reward where he gets to come on the show. So thank you to him. Dude Greg, who came on the show a couple weeks ago. Christopher Spurlock, Mike Vito, Mark Scott, Tim Van Autreve, Peter Panda, Matt Daly, and Gabe Van Gilder. So thank you guys. We definitely appreciate it. Just wanted to take a moment to say thank you, because without you guys, the junk box wouldn't happen. The game giveaways that are coming up within the next few episodes wouldn't happen. And Justin and I would have to continue to pay out of our pockets for hosting and all that stuff, which wasn't a big deal. We were doing it before anyways, but,
really appreciate it.
Glad to not have to do that anymore. So, retrofitted trophies.
This ain't your granddad's gamer score. These are retrofitted trophies.
hit the. I went for the wall tonight. I've got several.
Wow. Good, because I only came up with 2.
I have 6.
Okay, well, go ahead and give me a couple of yours then.
All right. I prefer David Lee Roth, and that is beat Astaroth.
Nice.
Let's see. My second one is Vincent Price would be impressed, and that is beat the game with no deaths.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. There's been a few people on YouTube to accomplish it.
I don't want to like bring a downer to this whole thing, but Vincent Price is dead.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Or is he?
Ooh.
All right.
All right, I'll give you one of mine, and then you give me 2 more. One of mine is straight to Satan, and that is using the level select to go straight to Satan.
All right. I got Thriller Night, and you have to say it in the Michael Jackson voice, 'cause this is Thriller, and that is beat the game in under 30 minutes.
Is that possible?
Also been done on YouTube
a
few times.
Wow.
Yeah. Who's the Big Man Now trophy? That is kill 10 big men. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. The other one that I had is King Arthur most certainly would not be impressed. And that is die and never make it past the Red Devil. That first Red Devil there that flies in.
Oh, yeah.
I lost to him so many times. So if you can never make it past him, then you earn the King Arthur most certainly would not be impressed trophy.
All right. And another one of mine, this is one that I was hoping to accomplish, but I was not able to do. And that is the Albino Hulk trophy. And that is beat the first unicorn.
Nice.
And then my last one is, oh yes, they call him the Streak. And that is beat the level after getting hit by the first bad guy. So basically beat the level in your underwear.
In your skivvies.
Yeah.
Nice. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
All right. So rating.
6 out of 10? 5 stars? 2 thumbs up? Who knows? It's time for game rating.
How are we going to rate this game?
Type of
ghost. Type of ghost.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right, I'm going to give this one. Oh God. Sorry, I just.
What?
Okay, I'm going to give this one Patrick Swayze from the movie Ghost. Because
okay. And why is
it? Well, I'm going to do that because this game is, the more you play it, the better it gets. Kind of like the movie Ghost. Hey, a little bit of hang on, a little bit of I guess insight into my life. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved that movie, and I don't know why.
Well, apparently you watched it several times and it just got better.
Yeah.
Okay, mine. I guess I'm gonna go with Ghost Dad just to stay on the movie trend.
What movie is that from?
There's a movie called Ghost Dad.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen
Bill
that.
Cosby's in it.
Ooh.
And I just wait. I just thought of something, but I can't say it because we're family friendly. So I'm just gonna go with Ghost Dad, and that's it. Okay.
We'll save that one for an after show because I gotta know.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So.
All right, so Ghost Dad, starring Bill Cosby, and Ghost, starring Patrick Swayze.
Right.
All right, that's good. That's good. All right, did you get some listener feedback?
Deep Hatter feedback. You speak, we listen.
I do. So, first off on our feedback, we've got Matt Daly says, so frustrating. Been working on the high score challenge, but in small doses, so my 3DS doesn't have to face the wrath. Very funny.
Nice.
Cleva the Great, I guess. I'm ready for it. Headed to the flea market this weekend to look for it. Hope you found it. Hope you enjoyed it. Peter Guzman says, yes, he sure does. I could never, and to this day, completed this game. Joe Copel says, this game is hard and frustrating. I've maybe seen level 2 on the NES. Maybe this on MAME with infinite credits, and got to see the rest of the game and beat it. But, did I really beat it? I haven't played this in 15 years, so maybe I'll have to dig this up on the emulator and try it out again.
I will say you did not beat it, Joe, unless you would have ever been rich enough to put that many quarters into the arcade.
Yeah.
And if you're me, then you were never rich enough to use enough quarters to beat this game.
Jacob McClendon says, such a hard game. I finished it in college. Both times, though, mind you. It took an entire case of Starbucks Frappuccino drinks and probably a whole pack of cigarettes and lots of frustration, but I did it. Then I saw the horribly translated end screen. Screw it. I still enjoyed the game.
Man, lots of uppers there to get him through that gaming session.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he didn't sleep for 7 days. Steven Stone said, hardest game I've ever played, period. Mike Capana said, one of my first games on NES, hard but fun. I used the cheat when I play the arcade version, because after you beat it, it sends you back to the beginning. Mike Vito, our Patreon
picker
guy, yeah, says, got this for Christmas one year on my NES. My parents hated me.
That's funny.
William Nichols said, epic. I remember going into D-time at the arcade. Some type of glitch. Let's see. Mike Capana also said, I play it on my Ouya. It's amazing. One of the most difficult versions of Super Goals. I will never understand why they removed the ability to shoot upwards. That was really stupid and kind of ruined the game for me.
Wait.
Good looking and extremely hard.
What did he said? Remove the ability to shoot upwards? Don't tell me. I played through this entire game and didn't know I could shoot up.
Yeah.
Did you know you could shoot up?
That's what he said. No, I didn't know that.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Michael Murdoch says, one of the games I found in the trash at a past job. Didn't make it too far. Going to try to finish the game. Derek Fletchell said, got this one during my early days of collecting. Played it in a decent amount, but never was able to make it through the entire game in one setting. I always had to use a stage select, beat every level, just not in the intended way. It's a pretty good game, but feels like it was made to be insanely difficult just to show it can be. I enjoy hard games, but I think this one would have been much more enjoyable if the difficulty was dropped down just a tad. Super Ghouls and Ghosts was much more enjoyable for me. though maybe it was just due to the improved graphics, as it was pretty hard too. Curse the programmer who thought of the idea to have to play through the game twice to get the real ending. Ryan R. Jackson said probably the hardest game I ever played. Sean said, Sean said, to be honest, I'd never played this game before I picked it up for the high score challenge a few days ago, but I dig it. It's a great skill-based game, if not a tad reliant on spawn memorization. I'd always heard that the Red Devil-looking mini-boss was a giant pain, so it was surprising that I think he's one of the easiest bosses / mini-bosses I've ever fought. Nice pick, Mike. Let's see, and let's go through. Greg Polander said, this is a great game and a classic in every sense of the word. When people nowadays toss around the term NES hard, they mean this game. I really enjoyed this in the arcade and was happy to get the game for Christmas of '88 after I've had my NES for a year. Normally I don't have the patience for a game where I die again and again and again without feeling like I was making any progress, but something about this game kept me playing it on and off for months on end. Even though sometimes it was as much fun as having your teeth ripped out, it was always fun to play. I finally beat the game twice after a lot of work and effort. Curiously, I think some of the later stages are easier than the ones before them.
I question whether or not Greg's ever had his teeth pulled out.
Yeah.
How would he know how much fun it is?
That's a good question. Greg Van Gilder says, suffering is right. I first seen this game when I was 10 at my cousin's house. They were so obsessed with it, I never got a chance to play it. It wasn't until years later that I played Super Ghosts and Goblins on the SNES that I realized this series is so hard it wasn't a real loss for me. LOL. Philip Vaughn says, I do love that picture. And I guess that was a modern interpretation you put up on there.
It was.
Joshua Thurman maybe has my favorite. Says, thoughts? OMG, I died on level 1. Why do I keep dying on level 1? And Zachary Richards rounds it off with, just an hour ago he put on there, it's hard, plain and simple. Haha, I've never managed to get very far in it.
Good deal.
Lots of feedback there.
Lots of feedback. Yeah, I like lots of feedback. We do have a voicemail also.
Sweet.
Let's see. You know me and trying to play voicemails, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, two dudes. I was just listening to your DuckTales episode. Great job. Really enjoyed it, but, I'm just hoping that you guys will talk more about Goose Poop at length in future episodes, because you definitely cut that a little bit short. So, great job, and keep it up. Thanks, guys.
That was
nice.
That was Josh Witt from the Turtle Flakes podcast. And he requests that we talk about Goose Poop more often, so we'll try to incorporate that a little more in the future.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he was not being sarcastic at all. We also have some iTunes real fast here. We've got, I get lost on these, but I think, do you remember an abandoned Murdoch?
I do not.
Okay, do you remember a big Bring Water Everywhere? I think I remember that one.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
So we'll start with Abandoned Murdoch, 5 stars. I really have been enjoying the show. I listened to it at work. I only started listening a few days ago, and I just finished the Metroid episode and the segment about Michael. Okay, we have already read this one, so sorry. But anyways, kid sold his NES a few weeks after he left his girlfriend, working in the trash department, and found an NES with the first TMNT, King's Knight, Ghosts and Goblins, and Super Mario Duck Hunt. I will keep listening to you guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Abandoned Murdoch. We have now listened to your iTunes review twice.
It's a good one.
But this was a good one to read on this show because I think he just mentioned that he found Ghosts and Goblins in the trash on our other feedback page. So
yeah.
So that's why I read it again, Justin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. This one is Reets OT. 5 stars. This podcast was just what I was looking for. The dudes do a great job discussing and explaining each game. I've been collecting NES games for about 2 years, and after listening to the two dudes, I have started to look for games I otherwise knew nothing about. Good. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Part of the reason we're here. Cleva de Great. Awesome podcast. Keep them coming. 5 stars. Short, simple.
Sweet.
Love it.
Love it.
Thank you, everybody, for those. Those are what keeps the show rolling, getting new listeners. So we appreciate that. All right, go listen to the Retro Junkies. Lots of good shows on there. Look them up. RetroJunkies.com.
Yeah.
Lots of good shows. So there's our shout out to them. Check that one off the list. No, but seriously, it's not just checking off the list. There are a lot of really good shows on there.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And you can find us on twodudesandans.com, nesdudes.com, and nintendudes.com.
Yes, and by the way, real quick, nintendudes.com. Well, no, maybe not .com. .com is ours, right? We own nintendudes.com. Mm-hmm. But there is a group on Twitter at Nintendudes. So, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your website, by the way. If you want it, talk to me. Because we don't actually need it. I just grabbed it because I thought it was cool. But there is a group out there called the Nintendudes, I guess.
Oh, okay.
On Twitter at Nintendudes. So if they want that hosting site, then you can buy it back from us. I don't mind. Anyways, go ahead.
And you also you can find us on Twitter as well.
That's true.
And Facebook. And you can always give us a call at
775-773-8761, aka 775-7-RETRO1. If you want us to talk about more ghost poop, that's the number to call and let us know.
Yeah.
Did I say ghost poop? I guess we could talk about
You said ghost poop, but we knew you meant ghost poop.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you know what I call ghost poop? The little packing peanuts. I always call those ghost poop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, I guess that's pretty much it. Good show.
Yep.
Yeah, iTunes and Stitcher, by the way, too. I don't know if we mentioned that. Facebook group.
Yep.
High score group.
High score group.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We got too much to. We got stuff.
Check it
everywhere.
out.
We got Instagram too, but that hardly ever gets used. Anyways, it's a good show. Justin's got to go to bed, so let's wrap it up.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Here's some music.